Hi, Shannon here. I have a question for you. How wealthy are you? I'm not talking about money, I promise. I'm talking about a different kind of wealth. I'm going to talk about 5 things that I feel make a person wealthy. The first one is our wealth of health. You know, a friend of mine just recently told me a story about this gentleman who just sold 2 of his houses. He didn't owe any money on them. He made a lot of money on these homes that he just sold. And overall was just a very wealthy person financially, which is wonderful, by the way. I totally am all about it. And this gentleman was not very happy at the closing, and my friend who's a realtor was kind of concerned about it. She asked him if everything was okay, and he responded with, "Never pray for money, pray for health." She finds out that his wife was just diagnosed with terminal cancer, and they had planned and bought homes and really worked hard to ensure that they would have a very, very comfortable retirement and be able to spend this money traveling the world and just doing great things together. And unfortunately now they were going to spend the money on medical treatments and medicine and maybe traveling and seeing doctors and just all kinds of stuff just to try to give the wife days, let alone years, to live. There are things that we can do for our health. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not at all saying we don't pray for financial abundance or meditate on it or think about it, and I do. I want to talk about what we can do for our health so that we can have a wealth of health. There are 3 things: eat right, move more, and think right. I talk about it a lot, so there's other videos you can see on what I believe in as far as eating and moving and even thinking. But those 3 things are our health. That's our health. And then we also have spiritual health too, which is extremely important. Taking care of our health above all things when it comes to our time here on earth, which is very short, by the way, that is so critical. It's so critical to take care of this one body that we are given. So, health, wealth of health. The next one is wealth of attitude. There's very few controllables in this world. Our attitude and our perspective is definitely one of them. And for my husband and I, it's one of our biggest ones. We have in our house a word that we don't like to hear hardly ever, and that's can't. When our 3-year-old says can't, it's like, wait a minute, what did you say? And she even knows how to rephrase her sentences. But our attitude and our perspective, that is so important. Let me give you an example. Someone cuts you off in the car. You can choose, 1, to curse them out, maybe wave some fingers at them, and you'll carry that negative energy with you all day long. I promise, you do. You may not think you do, but it just stems in there. It just kind of starts something brewing. Or you can choose to think, that person has somewhere important to be. That person probably didn't notice me. Maybe they didn't intend to cut me off. Maybe they really need to be somewhere. Maybe. Here's the thing. Why choose the negative route? I mean, why? Why choose to assume that a text message is negative? Why choose to assume that an email is negative? Why choose to assume anything is negative or wrong or off? There are some obvious things in life, and those things need to be cut out. But when it's not obvious, it's not a pointed discussion with someone that maybe is just something that is needed to be said, why choose the wrong path? Why choose the negative path? Why choose the path that makes you feel ugly inside? Because it does. It makes you feel ugly inside, and you carry that with you. Choose the path that makes you feel good. Choose to breathe deep and then release it. Release whatever it was that you were thinking about that person that cut you off, or that text message that came through, social media post, email, whatever, that maybe was bothering you that you were thinking really negative, ugly thoughts about. Choose your attitude. Promise you, every time you choose the right attitude, you get a wealth of positive in return. The next one is wealth of inner peace. So I feel that if you approach most all things with joy and love, you will receive joy and love back. And that to me gives me such inner peace. It's almost a form of contentment, if you will. There's very few reasons why you can't approach almost everything in your life, your business, your relationships, the decisions that you make in your family, with love and joy. I mean, there's very few reasons. I really actually can't even think of one at this moment. Approaching things with love and joy will absolutely ensure that you'll get love and joy back. Maybe not in that situation, but it will come back around to you. I promise this. A wealth of inner peace, to me, is so fulfilling. It's more fulfilling than any purse I could buy, or car I could drive, or zip code I could live in, or bank account amount. Wealth of service. So I'm a pretty selfish person. I am selfish. I'm a selfish mom. I want weekends to myself. I want a bubble bath by myself. I want to go read a book and a quarter by myself. I am a very selfish person. I'm a selfish spouse and a selfish friend. And maybe my friends might be thinking, no, you're not. Yes, I am. Or maybe they're not thinking that. But I am a selfish person. I can totally recognize it. I'm a selfish person. I love, and by the way, I do pray and meditate about that selfishness. I love serving, though. I love it. I love serving and working at church. I love serving in the community. I love giving time, energy, and resources to organizations that I believe in. I love serving. I love helping my husband build his business. I love helping friends build their business. I love it. I absolutely love it. But you know why I love it? I love it because it makes me feel good. It does. It makes me feel good. It gives me joy. But here's the good news. It's still giving other people joy too. So even though I love it and it gives me joy, and that's really why I do it, it's still such a great thing. Serving others is such a great thing. And when you serve others, it does come back to you. Maybe, like with me, it'll give you more joy than it even gives them. But either way, serving others, could you imagine if everybody in this world served others, one person even? If every person served someone else or some other organization, or gave their time, or picked up trash, served the world. Just think about it. Just think about it. Imagine it for a moment. Imagine how beautiful that would be. So, serving others, service, the wealth of service is just, that's so much wealth right there. The last one is our wealth of influence. So I talk a lot about circle of influence and how important that is. Here is the bottom line. Who you spend your time with is who you will become like. If your circle of influence are naysayers and gossipers and just have an ugly outlook on life in general, I mean, you will start to feel those things. You will start to go down those paths. You will start to speak the same language that they speak and look at things the same way that they do. It absolutely happens. Absolutely, 100% of the time. The people that you surround yourself with are uplifting and encouraging and have a positive regard for life. Those are the things that will also infiltrate into your heart and into your everyday interactions and your thoughts. I'm not saying that your circle of influence or your best friend or whomever you share advice with is not going to have a bad day. That's ridiculous. We all have bad days. The good news is that when you do have a positive circle of influence and someone has a bad day, someone else in that circle will uplift them, will raise them up, will help them rather than continue to push them down or drag them down. Your circle of influence is critical. It's critical. And you will feel so wealthy if you have a positive, uplifting circle of influence. I'm telling you, it may be time for you to cut someone out of your life that you really, really, really know deep in your heart is just not someone that's healthy for you or healthy for your family. Yep, that may sound so harsh. You know what? I've had people criticize me that, why would you cut them out of your life? Why wouldn't you try to influence them? You know what? I do. And I totally agree that you do. You try that path as long as the majority of your circle of influence is positive and uplifting, you can sometimes raise someone else up to that level as well. But there are times, and only you know this answer, when it's time to cut someone out, or cut groups out, or organizations out, or places that you spend time, or places that you visit on the internet, whatever may be the case. You know that. Only you know that. And sometimes there's hard decisions that you have to make. But the wealth that you'll bring into your life when you do make those decisions, and when your circle of influence is positive and uplifting, there's no number to measure it. It's just outstanding. So, 5 things to wrap this up that will make sure that you are the wealthiest person around, or alive, or in this world. 5 things. Your health, wealth of health, so important. Your wealth of attitude, you get to choose this. You get to choose your wealth of attitude every day. Your wealth of inner peace, bringing joy and love to all situations. Your wealth of service, serve others. Serve others and see what happens. And your wealth of influence, the people that you surround yourself with are who you will become like. 5 things. 5 things. These 5 things will make you incredibly wealthy and bring you so much joy and happiness. Will you be wealthy with me?